Alrighty, friends, so we are going to now look at steps 1 and steps 2 of our thinking steps for theme. If we forget what the theme is, we have it at the very top in purple. The theme of Emma's rug is inspiration is inside of you, so you can find it anywhere. And we want to show how key details support this theme. So some of the key details are going to be not only the words, but some of the illustrations in the story. So we have these two illustrations right here that are going to help us with step 1. Step 1 wants us to retell the conflict. So what's the problem in the story? And also retell the resolution. How is the conflict solved? So if we look at this first picture over here on the left of Emma, oh no, she's crying. This helps us to think about the conflict. What was the conflict in the story? Looking at the illustration, we know that the conflict is when Emma can no longer use her rug for inspiration. So all I did was click on that blue box to type my sentence, and I have it there for you guys to see now. So we know, now that we finished retelling the conflict, that the conflict from looking at this illustration over here is that Emma can no longer use her rug for inspiration. We know this because her mom washes her rug, and so it's clean, and the marks from the dirt that would help her see the creatures are all gone, so she can no longer use her rug for inspiration. But if we look at this other picture over here on the other side, on the right side, we have a picture or an illustration that gives us a clue about the resolution. If we look at this illustration, we see Emma is drawing, but this is at the very end. She threw away her rug. Her rug is gone. So how is she able to draw? Is it because she made new friends? No. Is it because she went outside? No. Let me look at my book. If I go back and think about this page that we read together, I see an illustration of the creatures outside. But like I said, this is after Emma throws away her rug. So she's still able to see the creatures. It's not because she went outside. It's because that inspiration, is it still coming from her rug? No, it's not coming from her rug or outside. It's coming from inside of her. She is using her creativity and her imagination to be inspired without her rug, so she can find inspiration anywhere. So we want to make a sentence retelling what the resolution is. So I'm going to click on that blue box, and I'm going to finish the sentence that says, the resolution is Emma finds inspiration again inside herself without the rug. Alrighty, now let's look at that sentence together. Now that I am done typing, I'm going to make that box a little bigger. That sentence is easier to read. There we go. All right, so let's look at that sentence together. The resolution is Emma finds inspiration again inside herself without the rug. So now that we've thought about what the conflict is and what the resolution is, how do both of those things help me think about the theme? We forgot the theme. Let's look at it again together in purple. The theme of Emma's rug is inspiration is inside of you, so you can find it anywhere. So you can find inspiration anywhere. We know this is the theme because it's something that we can do in real life. We know the conflict of the story is Emma can no longer use her rug for inspiration, but she solves this conflict with the resolution of finding inspiration inside herself without the rug. So how does this support the theme? We can say that this supports the theme because Emma is able to find inspiration anywhere. She's at her table. She was outside. But does she have her rug? No. So this supports our theme because Emma is able to draw again anywhere using her inspiration from inside of her. So let's make that a sentence. I'm going to click my blue box and I'm going to say, This shows the theme because Emma is able to draw again using her inspiration anywhere she goes. Alrighty, now let's look at that sentence together one more time and talk about step 1. So the conflict of her not being able to use her rug and the resolution of her finding inspiration inside herself shows the theme because Emma is able to draw again using her inspiration anywhere she goes. And we figured that out. These are all key details. The conflict, the resolution, and putting them together to talk about the theme is us using key details. So we did that here looking at some illustrations. But now that we've talked about the conflict and the resolution, let's think a little bit more about what is the theme for step 2. What is the message in the story? And we're going to use 2 questions to think about that. We're going to think about what do the characters learn? So what do the people in the story learn? And then what does the reader learn? What do we learn from reading the story? We're going to think about those 2 questions and how they support the theme that inspiration is inside of you so you can find it anywhere. We have some more illustrations to look at to help us answer these questions. So we have this first picture right here. Let me find my pointer. This first illustration right here of Emma in her room. And here behind her, we see a creature. She becomes afraid in her room because she thinks something is behind her. But is it a real creature? No, it's a creature from her imagination. But she doesn't realize this until she goes outside and she sees more creatures in the bushes. Now this is when she says, hey, I've seen you from before. So we know when Emma says, I've seen you from before, this is a clue that these are the creatures that she saw in her rug. But if her rug is gone, is she still using her rug for inspiration? No, what is she using for inspiration? What does Emma learn about her inspiration? Does it come from her rug? No, it comes from inside of her. And that's what we see on this last page, or last illustration, when she starts to draw again without her rug. So for that first sentence, I'm going to click this blue box and I'm going to say, what does the character learn? What does Emma learn? The character learns she can draw without her rug. But now we want to think about, what does the reader learn? Do I have a rug that I draw with? No. Do you guys have a rug that you draw with? I don't think so. So what do we learn from the story? What do we learn that we can practice in real life even if we don't have a rug that we draw with? Do we learn that we need a rug to draw with? No. Do we learn that there's imaginary creatures in our room? No. Do we learn that you can go outside to draw? What do we learn? None of that is it. What did we learn that we can do in real life just like Emma? Think about our theme. We learn that inspiration comes from inside of you. It doesn't come from a rug or outside or anyone or anything. It comes from inside of you. And we learn that when we see that Emma is able to draw again without her rug. So I'm going to finish this sentence right here. The reader learns inspiration comes from within ourselves. Awesome. And so now that we have what the character learns and what the reader learns, the character learns that she can draw without her rug. The reader learns that inspiration comes from within ourselves. So how does this support the theme? The theme in purple tells us that inspiration is inside of you, so you can find it anywhere. Do what the character and do what the reader learn, does this support the theme? Does it match up? Yes. So if we bring what the character and what the reader learn together, we can finish this last sentence and say, this shows the theme because Emma and the reader can both, what can we both do? We can both find inspiration anywhere. Let's look at that together one more time. We looked at the illustrations to think about that Emma learns that she can draw without her rug. We know that we don't have a rug and we're not a character in the story. But the reader, we did learn that inspiration comes from within ourselves. That was what we learned from the author's story and from Emma. And this supports the theme that inspiration is inside of you and you can find it anywhere because Emma and the reader can both find inspiration anywhere. That's something that we can do in real life. So we finished our step 1, which was retelling the conflict and resolution. And we finished our step 2, which was finding the message or what the characters and the readers learned. And we talked about how both of those steps help us think about the theme. For our last step, we're going to practice using our think marks to support the theme even more.